My craft is Mountmellick Embroidery, or Mountmellick work as it is sometimes known. It's an old traditional craft that's 200 years old, that's unique to this town in Mountmellick. It's white on white embroidery, edged with a knitted lace, and using the local flora and fauna as the designs that we work on. And it was originally used for household items like bedspreads and pillow shams, night dress cases and toilet mats and things like that. But over the years it has evolved, and in order to keep it alive, we still use the old traditional patterns, but we've used them now in more usable items that can be used in the house to keep the tradition alive and to keep people interested in continuing to do the work. My first piece of Mountmellick work I did when I was 9. I was in 4th class with Sister Teresa Margaret McCarthy, who is the nun who is credited with reviving the craft. She was doing some research on it at the time, and she used us children to practice it. I didn't do any more of it then till she collaborated with a lady, Jane Houston Almquist, to produce a book in 1985. And my mother bought me that book as a gift for Christmas with some fabric and thread. So I joined Sister Teresa's class back in 1985. And as I say, the rest is history. I'm still doing it. I like pansies and roses, so I nearly incorporate those into all of my work. So I would look at the old patterns and the old designs that I have copies for. So I would use my tracing paper. So I trace out a design first. Then I photocopy it, and then I would have my fabric, and I use old carbon paper, blue carbon paper. So I use that to trace the design onto the fabric. And then I start stitching. And what I love about this is there is no set criteria to say you have to use any stitch anywhere. So you have carte blanche to stitch whatever your favourite stitch is, wherever you like. There are a few guidelines that you would use, just not to use the same stitch everywhere. Just because it is white on white, you need it to stand out or recede, depending on what you want people to see first. Anybody who does a craft, they'll tell you, if they're in the humour of doing it, the work is better. So if you're doing something under pressure, you're never happier doing it. So I don't know if a lot of people would do it, but I stitch while I watch television. So mostly in the evening time I stitch, and in the winter. Once the summer comes and the evenings get bright, I'm out in the garden or out walking. I don't want to be indoors stitching. So I tend to do it once September comes, dark evenings are coming in, the stitching comes out again. And then you start getting inspired to do something. When you make something yourself, you have a sense of pride. I've achieved that. And also it's quite relaxing while you're stitching, and you can kind of zoom out from everything. And to be able to take something from the very beginning process and bring it to the end yourself. And that you don't have to be referring to a book or referring to a pattern or referring to something else. It's your kind of artistic nature is able to come through on it. Every piece is unique. Every piece is different. Even if two people work the same pattern, they will put different stitches in a different place. So every piece is unique when it's finished. And it's durable. It'll last. And it's something that you can use every day in your house. You don't have to have it put away in a safe place like other laces. People would make lace and then put it away because it's too good. This is quite durable, hard wearing fabric that we work on using cotton fabric, cotton thread, so it can be washed and reused and actually improves with age. I suppose like everything else, it's our history. It's the town's local history, and this was started back in the 1800s. There was a world revival of lace making. So there was a cotton industry in the town at the time. So the ladies used the cotton that was being produced and the threads that were being produced here in the town, drew their own designs from the local flora and fauna and stitched them into items that they could use. And over time then it developed into a cottage industry. So it has huge historical value to the town and to women in the town that it was used as a source of income and of education as well for them. I think it's very important to keep a local craft alive, and it's the only embroidery that's totally Irish in origin and design. And I think that gives people a sense of pride. And if they can look back and say, it's a tangible craft, it's easy to do, anybody can take it up and do it. So the more people who do it, better chance it has of staying alive into the future.